Welcome to Soul and Synergy Radio. Soul and Synergy Radio is dedicated to exploring the mysteries of the universe and our place in it. Your hosts, Terry and Danny, are the owners of Soul and Synergy LLC, based in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Each week, they will be delving into topics that are part of the metaphysical and paranormal world, along with spiritual practices that help us connect with our higher selves and tap into the energy of the cosmos. The show will feature interviews with members of the metaphysical and paranormal community, sharing their knowledge and insights with their listeners. Whether you're new to this world or an experienced seeker, Soul and Synergy has something for everyone. Now, your hosts, Terry Flick and Danny Loosemore.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to Soul and Synergy Radio.
Little different background here. We're
Yes.
up in Baraga, Michigan today.
Yeah,
doing
my
show.
hometown.
So
Yeah, right on the shore of Lake Superior. So this is something pretty cool for us to do on.
yeah. Hopefully when it gets warmer and we do these shows, we can be outside on the shore, but it's still 32 and stormy up here as well. So yeah.
So welcome, everyone. We have Melanie and Mary and Shell in the audience. Nice to see you all. For today's show, we have one of our friends that ended our shows, Dawn Schulze.
Yep.
With In Good Spirit.
In Good Spirit. Yep.
And then we have Christina Bloom, which everybody knows.
Oh, yeah. So we are going to talk about channeling with Christina today. So I just kind of threw a couple of things at her this morning. So channeling is our thing today, and I have a lot of questions about channeling. So.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll definitely learn something from that. And then we have Patty Q coming at 11:30. So it's going to be a really great show.
So you guys that are coming in on Facebook, we can't see who you are. If you want to give us a first name when you're coming in, that would help us out at least to acknowledge who you are. So.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on with Spirit up here and the power of Lake Superior. It's just a great energy to feel. Mother Superior, of course, at least over here is frozen over. But starting to at least have some spring with the water breaking through. Yeah,
well, when we came around, there was a couple open spots, and then a couple miles down the road, it's open. So, yeah, we're going to take a little trip down the road or later today, but we were talking about the energies in Ashland and Lake Superior.
Yes.
It's so much better up here.
Mm-hmm.
Ashland is awesome, but this is
just right in it, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
but a lot of memories here for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your hometown.
Growing up here and the different things that went on, and it feels kind of different when you come back to a hometown when you're an older adult.
Yeah. So it definitely is. So Rob Thompson is our Facebook user. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for coming in. And then we have Derek and Jackie Fryer.
Yeah.
All right. So we have some things going on fair-wise pretty soon. We have Detroit Lakes and Alexandria.
Oh, we have Brainerd first.
And Brainerd Baxter.
Yep. So at the Arrowwood Lodge. So we'll have, I was kind of running that one as a paranormal, metaphysical, psychic wellness, whatever. But so that will be April 22nd and 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
I will be doing a joint gallery with Sherry Meyer from Reiki Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Meyer. And then April 29th is our show in Eau Claire at
29 Pines.
Yep, 29 Pines Sleep-In Suites.
Yep.
And then we go to Minnesota in May.
Yes.
So then we're doing Alexandria. I want to say like the 20th. It's a Saturday, and then the next day after we're doing Detroit Lakes. So
and then Minnesota in May is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice time to be out there.
Can't wait to get back to Grand Rapids. So
yes, that was a very beautiful, awesome place to be. I'm actually going to be doing a little something as well.
Yeah.
We're calling it a tarot gallery, which is something interesting and neat. And I don't know if anybody else does it, but I'm going to coin it anyway. What I'm going to be doing is pulling 3 cards for the audience and talking about the messages I get from those cards and seeing if it resonates with anybody in the room, and then continue doing a reading for that individual, just like a gallery would, with mediumship and spirit and whatnot. So I'll be pulling the 3 cards and talking about it. And if someone says, hey, that's me, I'll continue reading for them and getting some more specifics.
You practiced that up in Ashland.
Yes, I did. And it actually worked out really well.
Nice.
And what I had done is I pulled the 3 cards, and I actually had audience participation. I said everybody can be a reader. So I pulled up a card and picked someone from the audience, and I said, look at this card. What is it saying to you? And I said, you're reading for this person in the audience. So I had one audience member reading for someone else that had never read before. Okay. And she said whatever she felt that the card meant for that person. And that person went, oh my God, that's it.
Oh, wow.
So nice, I had audience members reading for other audience members. It was a really cool interactive activity.
Well, that'll be fun. We're going to shoot that off in May at the store. We're going to try it there first.
Yeah, we're going to offer I believe it's going to be a free event.
You want to do a free event?
Yeah, okay. Just to encourage people to come so I can practice and have that at our store where I will do a tarot gallery for the people that come that night, and we will see how that goes.
Facebook user from Wausau. Can I get your first name?
Yeah. Hey, Wausau. Nice to see you. I lived in Wausau for a period of time.
Yeah.
I was just out of college and out of Houghton, Michigan here, small town. And I had my little Ford Escort hatchback back in the 90s and had to be working at the hospital there in Wausau. And it was my first time on an interstate.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing up here for interstates.
Yeah. I got past Merrill at the time. Then all of a sudden it became an interstate, and I had never been on one before. And I was just like, oh my God.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Kind of like a life challenge when 2 lanes turns into 4.
Yeah. Like a country boy going into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a great time of life.
Tracy. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Wow, look at them all.
And then Christine is saying, I'll be with you guys at 11 to talk about channeling. We have Courtney, yay with the hatchback. Yeah. Yes, it was quite, it wasn't rusty. It was actually well taken care of. Yeah. Oh, we have someone from sunny California. Wonderful.
Oh, well, glad it's sunny somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. California and the Redwoods for us was a great memory.
Magical trip.
Yeah. Being able to walk up to one of the trees and hug it and, kind of just plaster myself there because it was so big.
Yeah.
And kind of feel that energy was amazing.
It was. Can't wait to go back. It's going to be a great trip.
Yeah, but I still won't fly though.
No, not yet.
Not yet. No. I just can't fly. Unless I have a broom that can do it, I'm not going to fly.
Ooh, challenge. Challenge. I like it.
Yeah, definitely.
So
there's things going on with Reiki and whatnot. I'm going to try and delve into doing Reiki sessions.
Yeah.
I am a Reiki master, and I've been focusing on tarot for quite some time. And I think I'm going to try to kind of open up to Reiki sessions and try that out.
Give it a shot.
And give it a shot. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So lots of new things on the horizon for us. We still have, what is that? We still have our online magazine. We have Soul and Synergy Radio. We have the shows, we have the fairs. We're trying to do everything we can to get our name out there. So.
Oh yeah, and now I'm remote.
Yes, we opened up a second site. That's wonderful.
So we're kind of in a site. We're a site within a site. So started on this Tuesday. I'm up in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. So if anybody in northern Wisconsin wants to,
about an hour away,
a little closer than Eau Claire, I'm doing healings and whatever work out of. It's called Shape and Sense Wellness, and that is within the Shred Shed in Rice Lake downtown by the Marketplace Grocery. So I'm in the wellness part. So
so we've opened up a second site.
On Thursdays. I'm up there.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
Not this Thursday, but
very, very awesome. We have Facebook user asking, when is your next big event?
So the next big event would be the one in Brainerd on April 22nd, and then Eau Claire.
Yeah, 22nd, 23rd.
22nd, 23rd.
It's a 2-day show.
Yep. And then back to Eau Claire on the 29th. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of April. Oh, my mom was born in Rice Lake from Courtney. Oh, no, from Facebook user.
Where's Rice Lake in Wisconsin?
Oh,
it's about an hour north of Eau Claire.
Yeah, up Highway 53.
Yeah, on the western side of Wisconsin. Yeah. So we have when we go to shows, it's always really kind of neat because I like to go to other vendors and have readings and stuff like that. It's when you're a reader, sometimes it's hard to read for yourself. At least when I teach basic and master tarot, I start training people by having them pull a card for themselves and every day and kind of get to know the tarot cards and all of that. But when you've been doing it for as long as I have and I'm trying to read for myself, I know myself so well. I don't know if it's my ego telling me something or spirit telling me something.
Right.
So it's always nice to go to different readers. And I love going to astrologists and palmistry people. It's just such a magical thing because they all kind of get it right for us. And it's interesting. Oh, we have other questions.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and figure out, get you the link for the Brainerd event, Facebook user. We're going to get you back to Wisconsin. I'm not sure exactly when, but you will be coming back, of course. And good morning.
Yes, and good morning, One. Yeah, we'll try and put the link to our Brainerd fair in the chat box.
Why can't I type in here?
I don't know, but I can type on mine.
Okay, so Danny's gonna get you. Just give him the MetaPair Pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
for you guys that don't know, Soul and Synergy is our main company, and then MetaPair Promotions is our promotion company. So you can find our events on our fairs on Soul and Synergy, but it will link you over to the MetaPair Pro thing because that's where we do all the promoting from, and then the vendors will be popping up under there who's going to be there, the dates and all that kind of stuff. So try not to make it difficult, but Facebook makes it difficult. So we have to go out and about and do different things to make it easier. So you getting it?
Yeah, I'm getting the link out there. Trying to anyway. But one of the things that is interesting is that I've kind of found out is that everybody kind of channels at one point in their life. And
we do.
We may do it without even knowing it. Like when a random stranger tells you something in the store and it's like that really sounds like that was for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And just interesting stuff like yes, Rob, I see that.
Yeah. Or even mediumship for that matter.
Yeah.
When you all of a sudden have an inspiration to, I don't know, turn left instead of right or any of those things. It's just like something whispering in your ear, you better go this way. So
as we keep, hey, Craig. Oh, here's the link. No, that's not a link. It's just the date.
Oh.
So keep going.
I'll keep going.
So, even doing Reiki, we channel energy, right? Mm-hmm. But for those of us that do it, well, I shouldn't say maybe, but those of us that do it on a regular basis, like daily or every week or whatever the case may be, you'll find the more you use it, the more you accept the channeling part of it, and just allow things to come through you. We channel it all the time. I channel every healing is a channeling, and whether it be, I mean, besides the energy, and my hands are just heating up like crazy, but channeling the energy, and then channeling Jesus or whoever decides that I need to work with. They need to work with me on that day, and so yeah.
Yeah, it could be someone in a hooded kind of thing coming through, or
thanks, Todd.
Or even like when you have worked on me, and you see things like a wolf pack, and
that was a good one last time we worked together.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I know when I'm doing readings, or when I'm training people to do readings, I say, you have to come up with a method for opening yourself up to provide those messages, and then also a good idea to kind of close the door when all is said and done.
Yeah, please remember to cut those connections and say thank you to whoever was with you, and cut those cords and stuff, so you're not carrying that with you all day. Because it can be a little challenging to manage your day after connecting with or channeling different people.
Yeah, because you can feel so like lightheaded and kind of disoriented when you don't necessarily come back to reality and kind of get not rooted but grounded. Grounding yourself again.
Well, I kind of like the lightheaded part and being disconnected sometimes, but
it's a natural high.
It is a natural high, that's for sure. But
feeling kind of weird,
but then it's can't get behind the steering wheel of a car doing that.
No. So, Lee is saying, Lee Warner, like everything else, the more you practice, the better you get.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Practice.
Yes, and then the best part of it is that when you can realize what your thoughts are versus what the thoughts that are coming into your mind from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or the images that just rush in front of your imagination without even thinking about it, just little visions here and there of things to do or things to say and all of that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know about anybody else. This world never scared me. What we do, the metaphysical, the Reiki, the visions, all this has never scared me. It's like going home every time I do it. It's like I get done, even doing 5 sessions in a row, which, it's long 5 hours, but it's still amazing. Every healing I do. Yeah.
But for me, I have them chatting at me all the time and they never leave me alone.
Right.
So it's kind of like even difficult sometimes to sleep with all the chatter that's going on all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And, and I can even hear them, like if I'm starting to drift off to sleep, some of them would say, oh no, he's going to sleep. Talk a little bit louder.
Yeah.
But I even had something happen to me the other night that even kind of scared me. I was meditating and I was playing with energy and all that during my meditation. And I was trying to raise my vibration up. And then in the house, in my bedroom, I heard a voice as if it was coming from a speaker, which is not how I normally hear it, like an actual voice coming from the middle of the room saying my name. And I ran out into the kitchen. I'm like, did you have your phone on? Were you talking to your mom?
Yeah.
It actually happened that way. And when it gets that real for me, I get scared.
Yeah. And I just like, what?
Yeah. And then he's all
talk to me more. Talk to me more.
And I'm just like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But it's enough for me to kind of hear the whisper and stuff like that. But when it comes, comes out full kind of voice, that's kind of when it gets to me. But we have Courtney saying practice makes things better and yell your name. But yeah, it's weird. And when you hear words, like if you're not paying attention to the television and then the words coming from the television changes from what's actually being said, that's kind of them messing with the audio so that you hear something a little bit different than what's actually out there. So that gets to be kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But it can be kind of funny because they replace words with other words that kind of make the sentence a little bit even risque at times.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. But we do hear the same thing sometimes. It is interesting. Oh, what was that? Was it when we were coming back the last time from up here and we went through Minocqua and the radio went funky on
Yeah,
us?
and the radio went funky and
Yeah.
messages started coming across the radio that would normally, the radio would not say those things.
The display and out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, that was something really unexplainable.
Yeah, something about a cabin and I don't know.
Yeah, this is kind of where the paranormal kind of mixes in with the metaphysical. It's like, is it energy? Is it an entity? That kind of a thing.
Right.
Oh, speaking of entities, I had a reading, a couple of readings this week where I kind of identified, these people were having attachments with negative energies and they were kind of really affecting their lives. And I told them, when a negative energy attaches to you, they're attaching to the things that you're ashamed of. They're attaching to the things you're guilty or feel guilty about or have fear about. And they use that against you to really keep you held down in a way or trapped in that emotion. And when you kind of release those fears, that guilt or whatever, they have nothing to attach to anymore. And they may fight for dear life trying to manipulate your mind and make you think diminishing thoughts about yourself. But as long as you stay strong and positive, they have nothing to attach to anymore.
And I think that, I don't know, I'm just going to say, people dabble in the dark side.
Yes.
And we had a client come through this last week. A clearing usually takes me 15 minutes. Like I can clear you in like 15 minutes. Take all the negative off, help you feel better, work on different things. I worked on this gentleman for an hour and removed 42 things from his body. 42. Really? Guys, if you're going to dabble in the dark side, find the light to go with it because this guy's sick. He has a lot of issues going on.
Yeah. And he came out of there feeling light and he could hear again, and
we had to remove the whatever that he had over his right ear because he couldn't hear anymore. Now he can hear again, and it's like, yeah, they're going to do those things because they don't want you to hear the truth.
Right.
So
and it's easily understandable when someone feels kind of powerless and have no control. They learn that if you kind of learn how to mess with energy with whatever title you want to give it, I will be empowered because I can make things happen and all of that. And they go down such a negative way. They take their anger and and feeling slighted and picked on and all that. Then they use it to kind of get something back or get back at someone. It's like, no, that's not what it's for.
Not at all.
You kind of take it into the negative realm when you're trying to gain control back into your life by using energy.
Magic is amazing if it's used in the right way.
Yeah. And I think magic, energy, prayer, it's all energy. No matter what you call it, it's just a manipulation of energy or intention. But if you kind of go into it going, I'm going to get you back because I know how to do this, and boom, whatever.
Yeah.
The negative attaches to you because you're doing it from a negative place.
Yeah. So even those little cuss words that people that cut you off in traffic is a spell.
Well,
it can be. Words are spells.
Yeah, that's where the word spell comes from.
Yeah.
So. It's intention.
It is intention.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to be OCD about always having good intentions because we're human. We
do.
We have knee-jerk reactions to things, and we don't necessarily think something through. But if you do it enough times and whatnot from a bad place, those bad things will find you.
Yep, absolutely.
And some people don't mind that. They like living in that place.
It's their normal, though.
Yeah, they feel it's the devil that they know. So they just feel comfortable being in that energy. But the more you lift yourself up out of it, you find that the happiness is worth it.
Right.
Versus the retaliation and all of that.
it takes so much less energy to be happy.
Yes, it does. It takes a lot to come to that negative place.
It does. And that's what keeps you in low vibration, and that's what keeps you not happy.
And when you're in that higher vibration, that love or whatever, the things that people are trying to do, maybe it's aimed at you, won't work.
Right.
Because the energy is congruent. It has nothing to stick to.
Yep, absolutely.
So if you kind of keep that positivity and that happiness going, if you think someone's trying to do something to you, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Because they don't match your vibration.
Yep, I agree. Keep it high, because you can tell when you start dropping, things start happening.
Mm-hmm.
So then recenter, rebalance, bring your vibration back up, things go away.
And I just tell people, find that part of your heart or whatever that feels like the thing that you love the most, or makes you feel love in some way. And if you ever feel like something weird is happening, just have that feeling of love for whomever, like for Terry, I just feel, what it was like on our special day, getting married.
Yeah.
And that's the thought I hold in my head. And then the things just go away.
So that day was so interesting because of what we do, I believe is not why, but we're up there at the, what would you call it? Not the altar, but what was that called? This.
The archway or whatever you want to call it.
And we're up there, and I can't remember which part of the ceremony, if it was the hand fasting or Christina's part, but and you could just, and behind us is a cornfield, and it's late. They haven't harvested yet.
September.
And September, and you could just feel as
getting choked up.
Yeah. But as the ceremonies kept going, you could just feel more energies coming out of that cornfield, the ancestors coming through, and the place getting full. And yes, I get choked up every time we talk about that.
Yeah. So
you said Christine's link?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Having the positivity there is definitely worthwhile. Hey, Sloan, nice to see you. I'll be seeing you on Sunday.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Hey, guys. So I just got a text from Christina, and she asked if you can get me a couple of questions ahead of time. She's already doing some downloading and working on it. So give me a couple of questions I can send over to Christina, or at least get it prepared so she's ready to go. She's going to do. She's actually going to do some channeling.
Oh, she's going to do some channeling.
She's going to do some channeling on the radio.
Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah.
That's absolutely excellent.
So anyways, but so when you're in those happy modes, I guess is where we want to go with it. So many beautiful things can happen and do happen.
Things just come to you naturally. You don't even have to have any effort for it. When you kind of vibrate at that high place, when you've set your intention about what you want your life to be, things just even fall into your lap. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you become that magnet for those positive things happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm a little distracted now. I'm so excited about Christina doing channeling that it's like I want to go there because that's my next.
That's kind of your next thing.
My next thing is doing channeling.
All right.
So,
Well, it's the bottom of the hour, people. We will go to a short break, and we're going to bring Dawn in to the studio from In Good Spirit to talk about her life, her path, her business, and all the things that she does for services. So we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Want to see your video here? Sponsor WLTK-DB Talk Radio and watch us make that happen. With your paid sponsorship of $80, you receive a professional produced audio, video, and banner placement on our station. Not only does your sponsorship air during our live shows, but also replayed on our podcast and heard by hundreds of like-minded people. Visit WLTK-DB.com to get started and find out just how hard we work to get you noticed.
All right, welcome back to Soul and Synergy Radio here in WLTK-DB Talk Radio. Todd, as you see the questions coming through, can you put those in that little live comment thing so we don't lose track of them? That would be great for Christina. I would appreciate that. So we are going to be welcoming Dawn to our show from In Good Spirit to talk about her life and her path and everything else and in between. So let's bring out Dawn.
Hi.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good to see you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Really excited to have you with us today. You know, we've had you at our shows and we thought it would be a great opportunity to learn more about you and to share your knowledge with our listeners and about you and your path. So why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
So I'm what I call a natural born psychic. My whole family, when they were living, were psychic. Some of us embraced it, some of us didn't. But we all had fairly strong gifts. And so as a kid, I've always been able to see energy. And I just thought, I would travel a lot with my grandparents and I would be looking out the window at the trees and they're glowing.
Oh, wow.
And I thought everybody saw this. And then I realized nobody sees this. So I learned not to really talk about that stuff. From an early age, I had inadvertently been giving people readings, and they would chalk things up to coincidence. But it wasn't until, let's go back. Even as a little kid, the angels and the guides would play music in my head. Mm-hmm. And they were really fond of the 50s and 60s. So that's how I would go to bed with this music. I would wait. And I finally time to grow into my gifts. And they were on me. And on me to start sharing those with people. And I finally said, okay, I'll do it. But you have to make it, everything has to fall into place. So I think I've been doing this 7 years.
Okay.
Maybe 9. I'm not sure. Professionally. But yeah. And, some of the things that I have, the inadvertent readings I've given people have, I've seen the end result and wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And you're also,
go ahead.
You're also a counselor.
I am a mental health practitioner. Licensed in Minnesota and Wisconsin, so I still work full time.
And what a great mix!
It is, but it's a fine balance or a fine line to not be giving people the answers or giving them a reading, and sometimes you just can't help it but you put it in a way that it's more therapeutic than saying, hey, I'm giving you a reading.
Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
And she's coming, actually.
So,
you're living.
Go ahead.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I was listening earlier about you talking about vibration and ways to increase vibration. And one of the things that I think people aren't necessarily aware, is the type of music people listen to is really impactful. I don't let's a good example of that would be Dr. He's the water guy. He Dr. Matasumo, bless his soul, he's already passed on. Yeah, he froze water crystals and then played them to different types of music. And what he found is that music like the Beatles, Elton John, Beethoven would make these beautiful crystals. Music like really hard, with hard like guitar riffs, mutated the water crystals. So when you think about our bodies are what, 80% water or something like that, think about what that kind of music does to you.
Right.
So I laugh at my husband because he likes to listen to some of the harder stuff. And if I'm in the vehicle with him, I'll look at him and he'll start laughing because he'll say, "Oh, your water molecules are bursting."
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a hoot. But yeah, and so a lot of what like I do is I'm pretty skilled with all the clairs. It's however the guides and the angels want to give me messages to the person. I do some mediumship work. I am what's called a healing touch practitioner. So I do a lot of energy body work. And how I got to that was I had to have been about 16, and I woke up because my hands, if I had opened my eyes, but I was awake, would have been like Mickey Mouse hands. They hurt so bad. And instinctively, I put them together and energy shot from one hand to the other. And I could feel my hands shrinking. And at that time, I'm 16. I don't have any money to figure out what this is. So as I got older, and I always remembered this, that I bought a book called by Barbara Brennan, Hands of Light. And I figured out what this was. So then as I got older and could afford it, I took a healing touch class just to check it out. And it was like I was home, because it was with the higher vibration, and I vibrate pretty high. It was just like, this is me. And it was just a perfect fit. And throughout all my training with healing touch, I'm a fairly strong healer.
So we have a question from Lisa, and I have my opinion, but I want to know yours. I've always been curious how healing touch and Reiki are different.
Healing touch, because I don't do Reiki, but I know that as you're laying on the table, they draw symbols over you and they do something else. With healing touch, it's about balancing all of your chakras in your body system and your etheric fields. So healing touch has been around forever, and it used to be called therapeutic touch, and only the nurses would do it in the hospitals. And then Janet Mentigen, who created this, was told by her angels and guides that this is for every. So she changed it, called it healing touch, and started teaching everybody. And what she realized is that anybody can do healing touch. So the idea is that as in your 7 etheric fields, there is excess energy that is not there for your benefit. So if it's not removed, it will manifest as illness in the body. So there are a number of different techniques that will clean your etheric fields, balance you up. If you have a chakra that isn't as strong, there's ways to hook chakras together to support them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I've learned quite a bit that, if you say, oh, I feel just beside myself, I can take a look at you and yes, your etheric fields are shifted. Or if you feel, geez, I feel like I'm just flaky today, or discombobulated, chances are you're not grounded and your etheric field could be cut off like right at your ankles or your knees. So you're higher this way.
Okay.
So there's ways to balance you up.
Cool. So when you take your training for Healing Touch, do you go through like an attunement process to be able to use the energy easier or anything like that? Yeah.
No. The first class I had, at the time I was living in Alaska. Right now I'm in Minnesota, which is home, by the way. So I was down in Seattle, and it was just, this is the history of Healing Touch, which is in a nutshell what I told you. This is how you feel energy. And here are some techniques. So you start practicing, you're paired up and you start practicing on each other, and you really have a clear understanding of what it is and what you're doing with it's not your energy, because you're channeling divine energy and earth energy. And then so when you're working on someone on a massage table or wherever you work, you don't get tired and exhausted because it's not your energy. And
Right.
what you're actually doing is you're using the divine and Mother Earth energies to jumpstart, like a battery, their energy. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. And it kind of is like Reiki, what we do. And the only difference is during our training is we're attuned to the universal life force energy. So, So, pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, they don't call it attuning. It's just, grounding yourself to make those connections and to start the draw. So you're channeling divine energy.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I had a question for you. I'm kind of on the track of being not an LPC, but I'm going for licensed social work. And that's kind of my path. And that's kind of my path that I'm on with college and all of that. But my question for you is, because you're kind of in the field, how do you counsel someone who feels as though they're mentally ill when really they're spiritually inclined? How do you help walk the fine line between mental health issues and being gifted?
Ooh. So some of that, the younger population and just people know when they're gifted, and if they've been, what is the word? If they've been told they're crazy their whole life because they have these gifts, they're going to kind of believe that. But I think internally they need that validation. A lot of times what I have found is, people start using empathic language.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll bring up, well, I'll just bring it up. do you know what an empath is? And that's usually where we start. And then we talk about, it sounds like you're gifted. And they're like, well, what's that? So then I talk about it, but I do not tell them that I am gifted. Because then that changes the dynamic of a therapeutic session.
Right.
And it's just the difference between psychosis and channeling. If someone says that they're channeling and all that, and they're getting messages and whatnot, how that's interpreted in the mental health world as psychosis.
Exactly.
And where is the difference there between someone who is genuinely in psychosis on a biological side of things, but how do we tell the difference?
When someone says like they're schizophrenic and they come to me, and I'll start saying, well, okay, well, how do you experience your schizophrenia? Oh, well, sometimes I'll see shadows, or sometimes, I hear a voice and they're telling me that I shouldn't do blankety blank because this might happen. I start, that's the type of questioning I do. So are you really schizophrenic, or are you psychic? Are you getting these messages?
Right.
And, So, and a lot of times, when someone is in psychosis or supposedly in psychosis, you're going to see a bunch of different other symptoms. So when you're actually doing the therapy with this person,
Okay.
You can feel it as a clairvoyant yourself,
Okay. Yeah, because I know in other cultures, like Africa or otherwise, schizophrenics are treated very well. People who would be diagnosed here in America as schizophrenic are treated like medicine men and tribal kind of things, and it's just such a different approach.
Yeah, and they're not like here. People who I actually had a fellow counselor stop being a counselor because she was afraid of schizophrenics.
Oh, wow.
Because, and that's society's view of mental health, mental illness, schizophrenics. And that's not true, because a lot of times the schizophrenics that I have worked with are gentle souls.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And we get some interesting people that come to the store, and they'll sit with us and we'll talk about, like what you say, ask the questions and stuff. And we're not doctors, but we give you what we feel, what we get from messages and stuff, and they have to make their own decisions ultimately. But I get that. I get what you're saying. And I had somebody come up to me, and I can't remember where it was, and they said, I'm labeled schizophrenic. And I said, what does that mean? Because I'm standing here in your energy and I don't feel that at all. I don't feel that, I don't know what I would truly feel like a schizophrenic would be, because I think that like the negative energy should be all over the place and I can't function. I can't do this. I can't do that. I said, so don't tell me what it is. And they're like, well, because I see things out the corner of my eye, I get paranoid. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you do get paranoid, because that's not what you're used to and you don't understand it. And just talking with them and helping them, feel this out and see what you think afterwards. And then, decide what you want to go with. But I guess.
But we don't give out any type of medical advice at all.
No, we don't diagnose or anything like that.
But if someone's coming in and they're saying, I'm seeing orbs, and I see them in the corners, and you see them looking at them and watching them, and they start to get afraid, and we're just like, no, don't be afraid.
Yeah. The gentleman that seen the orbs in the park. That was a good talk.
And he calmed down and he felt normal. And it's all about trying to get back to normal.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people are just misunderstood, Courtney. Yeah.
Yeah. So how can people find you when they want services?
So I can give you my email address, which is dassinak or people can call me on my cell phone, 218-393-7270. And
Okay.
I do a lot of remote healing. I do a lot of phone sessions. Or they can come and see me at some of the expos I'm at.
Yeah. Well, where are you going to be next?
That's a very good question.
She's going to be in Brainerd next.
I'm going to be in Virginia.
Oh.
On the 15th of April, and then Brainerd, the 22nd and 23rd.
Yeah. Virginia, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I'll have to make sure that we put that out there. Is that a Body Lab event?
I believe, yes, it is a Body Lab event.
I just had a customer from Virginia, Minnesota have me ship her something. So I'll send her a message that there's going to be a show. So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Do you do stuff with cards at all?
I do. I can I have my go-to cards, which are Archangel. It's an Archangel deck. So I do this.
Mm-hmm.
These cards. But I also use other cards, and I use crystals just to give a little bit more pointed information. A lot of times, I'll ask people if they want a tarot reading or if they want it intuitive, and they say, well, what's the difference?
Yeah.
And but we'll start with cards, but we won't end with cards because they'll start talking and they'll take us where they want to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But a lot of times cards are good for people who just need that validation that they're talking to a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah.
It's interesting.
I kind of believe when Danny does his card readings and stuff, I watch him do readings at times, and I'm like, yeah, those cards are just for the client to watch and see what you're doing, because I can watch his head go, oh, there he goes, he's connecting, and that's where the messages are coming from. Yep.
Yep. And then they know that they have only a certain amount of time, so they're going really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And and sometimes it's like
yes. Yeah. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you do us a little favor? Could you draw a card for the audience about, let's say, about what next week is gonna have in store?
As far as weather, or just
just
in
like
general,
the energies and what they need to pay attention to.
All right, I'm going to do 3 because that'll give a little bit better. So, I have, let's see.
Okay.
This one, Justice. And it's kind of funny because I shuffled these up, and these are all would be considered the higher arcana cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one.
Okay.
So basically, what these cards tell me is that people are if you're not aware of your angels or your archangels or your guides, they're with you. They have your back. They and they want you to start talking to them because they hear. And I tell this in the way that guides and angels are like vampires. They have to be invited into your life for them to really be able to do the work that they're supposed to be doing with you. So So by saying, like even if you said, please God, help me blank, that is enough for them to start coming in and doing work with you. So never think that you're ever alone, because they are always with you and they always want to be helpful, and they're there for your own well-being. They want you to be happy. They want your soul to grow. So for next week, those of you that are going through a rough time, start talking to them. And then start looking for the messages, because a lot of times people don't get the message because they have these preconceived notions. And I'll give you a little story. There's this guy who's starving, and he goes, please God, bring me some food. Pretty soon, a little while later, a woman walks by and offers him a banana. He refuses to take it because it's not food. Food in his mind was a steak, potato, and salad. Did God answer his prayer? Yes.
Yeah.
Did the guy see it? No, because of his preconceived notions about what food is.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
So, and the messages can be something, you see, you smell, you hear, and, when my brother passed away, it was unexpected. And it's kind of funny because after we found out he died and we had his services, I rarely turn on the radio because. So I turned on the radio and it was, don't worry, be happy.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
And so messages like that come through very, very clearly.
For sure.
Yeah, I think people get wrapped up in the message has to be certain ways and this is and that's, and truly it's just allowing and opening up and just letting it be what it is instead of trying to control it.
Yeah, when you do that, then you miss it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for doing that for us, for sure. But I wanted to thank you for stopping by our little radio show and talking about your life and your career and all of that. And if anybody wants to have a reading, she will be in Virginia, Minnesota, and then at Brainerd.
And then we'll get your links up or your email stuff up. We'll get that shared out. So, but what else was? Oh, I wanted to tell you that you're seeing all sorts of loves and hearts and thank yous on the message side of the board. So
from our audience.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate everybody.
Well, we are at the top of the hour, so we're gonna have to
love and light to everybody.
We're gonna have to say goodbye and thank you so much, and we'll be welcoming on Christina at 11 o'clock. So thanks again.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
So why don't we go to commercial?
Take a short break, and I
welcome
believe
Christina.
She's ready. I don't see. Todd hasn't told us she's back there yet, but I'm sure she's there.
So Todd, you can go ahead and take us out to a commercial break, and we will welcome her on.
Perfect.
Download the new station calendar and never miss another show. To get it is simple and free. Just visit WLTK-DB.com to download or tap the subscribe button on our mobile app. Once the file is in your downloads folder, just double-click it, authorize it to your calendar, and boom, you have every show listed. Not only does it list the shows, but also the links to watch them live. We would like to thank Danny Loosemore for developing this for us and hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Get yours now at WLTK-DB.com or just click subscribe on our mobile app. See you at the shows. Put the power of this station in the palm of your hand and download our mobile app. Visit the App Store, Google Play, and search for WLTK-DB Talk Radio and download the app for free. Listen to past shows, download our station calendar right to yours, and even shop. The WLTK-DB Talk Radio mobile app, now available on the App Store and Google Play. Download yours now.
All right, guys. So it is me for the next half hour. Danny stepped out. So for those of you who didn't catch it, we are up in Baraga, Michigan, visiting Danny's family up here. So he stepped out to do some stuff with Danny, his dad or whatever. And then he's going to come back in I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's going to come back in at the bottom of the hour and be with with Patty for the bottom of the hour. So we have Christina coming in now, and we're going to do some channeling. And so have some questions. I got 4 up so far. So, all right, let's bring Christina in and see where we go.
Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
How are you this morning?
I'm amazed at, we were talking at the beginning of the hour at the differences. You know, you were with us in Ashland, we were talking about Lake Superior and Ashland, and you've also been with us up here in the UP and how the different energy is even up here from Ashland. It's crazy.
It is. Well, energy is different everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it fluctuates. Energy moves constantly. There's no real, you can't really contain energy. You know, it's just, it does what it does.
It does what it does. It is a beautiful thing, though. I mean,
yeah, I love that.
So for the channeling part, where would you like to go?
Well, right after you guys asked me, I started getting downloads. So I feel like I don't know really, like, I know that Mary put up, hello, Christina, any messages for me? I am not giving the messages. Whoever is going to channel through me is giving the messages.
All right.
So can you moderate the questions and ask the questions, because my eyes will be closed. I won't be able to see anything. And I want to say hello to everybody who's saying hi to me. Hi, Anne, Mary and Courtney and everyone. So I want to say hi to everyone, but my eyes are closed when I'm channeling. So unless Christ comes through, I haven't been told who it's going to be yet.
So if we lose Christina's face, we know Christ is coming through. So she will stand for us.
Yeah. So I am actually going to take off my glasses.
Okay.
Because they feel really heavy when I'm channeling. And I don't know that I've channeled with the headset on before, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ground connect in, and I'll be right with you as quickly as I can.
So while Christina's doing that, if there's any more questions, I got Ane, Diana, Courtney, Lee, and MKVUKY. Sorry about that, but
that's Mary too.
Oh, that's a Mary too. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody else out there listening that would like me to ask, once we figure out who Christina's channeling, then we'll go from there.
I usually do a little bit more of a lead in, but we're kind of limited on time. So
yeah, that's all right. Tina, go ahead and put a question in there. Good morning, Ellie, Edda.
Okay, I just want to let you all know, I know who's coming in now. It is a member of the Pleiadian High Council.
Perfect.
And the questions, like any messages for me, you're not going to get from them. So you need to ask more direct questions.
Okay.
Hello, I am Urok. I am a member of the Pleiadian High Council.
Welcome.
Thank you. I am here to answer questions, but also to relay information. We understand that right now, and particularly on this day, there are many difficult things happening on your planet, weather-wise, emotionally for a lot of people, politically for many. We understand that this is creating uncertainty and chaos. We suggest that you do your best to not get too involved mentally or emotionally with the things that are happening on your planet today. It's shifting very quickly. Everything is shifting very quickly. And as it is shifting, if you grab onto something that upsets you and focus on it, you will have difficulty shifting out of that mindset as whatever it is that you're upset about moves on. Things are happening very quickly today, and tomorrow will be a new story altogether. So please try to just let things pass as you can. We understand with weather that can be difficult, particularly if you need to be somewhere and you cannot get there, or you are getting there with great difficulty. Our basic message for you right now is just to let things flow and try not to get upset about them. I will take your questions now.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us on our show today.
You are welcome.
So in our show earlier today, we were talking about vibration. And now as I listened to your opening and talking about what's going on our planet right now, as a recommendation for our viewing audience would, working on keeping their vibrations higher and staying more on the positive side help these situations.
Yes, it would. If you can focus on yourself and meditate or find something that brings you joy, music, or something that you find humorous, this will help you flow through today more easily and more quickly. Please understand that you have called forth change on your planet collectively and have been doing so for quite some time. Unfortunately, many of you have forgotten that change often brings chaos before it settles into what you have been manifesting.
Absolutely. And is there a time frame that you can see that things will get maybe not easier, but at least lighter for us on Earth?
As always, energy is constantly fluctuating. You will find things to be difficult and then easier and then heavier and then lighter. And it is always fluctuating. If you are looking for a permanent state of lightness, this will not happen as you have chosen to be in a physical body, because nothing is permanent. And if everything in your world was lighter and easier all the time, there would be no point in your physical existence. as you would be learning absolutely nothing.
So
yes and no.
Thank you. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. So, but my next question is, this is a question that comes up to us a lot. What is our purpose here on Earth?
Your purpose is to experience. Every one of you has chosen to be here at this particular time to experience what it's like when an entire planet shifts into higher consciousness. You wanted to be here to experience this. And whatever role you choose to play in that shift is entirely up to each individual. We can tell you that the higher number of individuals who choose to raise their own vibration and consciousness, the easier it will be for everyone. However, if you are choosing to play the other side and to fight against the ascension, that is your personal experience that you have each chosen. We have also noticed that there are many people leaving the planet at this time who have decided that they wanted to be here for this initially and then decided it was too difficult. So they have chosen to opt out of the game, so to speak. Although this is not necessarily a game, it is an experience. This is what you are here to do, and each individual gets to decide what role they play and what their purpose is.
Thank you. So this question, those of us that work in the metaphysical world or work in this world that, with our gifts, we call them our gifts, our psychic abilities and those kind of things. And I understand, channeling and how Christina comes with for you to bring you through and stuff. But what about other people? Are these things that, like, if we work on these and develop these, will they be easier? Will it help people make it easier to be in this world?
Possibly. And let me explain that further. This type of channeling, where she completely hands over her body to us, as you can see, her body is in constant motion as we are speaking through her, because our energy is bigger than hers. It is stronger than hers. And her body must do this to dispel enough energy for us to bring messages through. And there are not relatively a lot of people who are willing to turn their bodies over to an entity they do not know. Although we have come to know her well over the years, we are grateful for those who allow us and others of higher vibration to channel through them so that we can get messages clearly to the rest of you. You can choose to do this. It is difficult for some people because of personal trust problems, and also because a lot of humans are not willing to release control to this level, to allow us to come through, us and others. Simply by meditating and quieting yourself, by walking in nature, by doing things that you enjoy, you can raise your vibration. Channeling to this extent is not necessary for you to raise your vibration. Some of you choose to create, whether that's in the arts or the sciences or whatever. And all of that raises your personal vibrations. And we hope we have answered your question, because we have forgotten what it was.
I believe you did. And I'm reading through the other questions, and I believe you've answered stuff ahead of time. I would like to know and your thoughts on aliens, and are they walking among us?
To us, you are the aliens.
Yes.
And yes, and have been for quite some time. And quite literally, humans are not indigenous to planet Earth. You are all aliens. You are all made from the stars and the universe, and all of those components are within you. And you are not native to this planet, any of you. So yes, there, as a basic answer, the big answer is yes. Now, if you are asking about different alien species walking among humans, the answer is also yes, but to a much smaller degree.
Okay. Nice. Oops, 1 second, please. So we have a question from Keith. How can one restore their normal energy level when stress and chaos has driven it up too far? And it feels like it's like a quick fix type of thing.
Many of your spiritual teachers would suggest grounding. And there are many ways to ground. There are many resources available to help ground. Everything from certain minerals that are on your planet and using those to ground, to visualization of growing like a tree down into the earth. There are many ways to ground. Eating heavy proteins can help ground. There are just many, many ways to do it. Meditation can also help ground, although it might sound counterintuitive to you. But if stress and chaos are the problem, quieting your mind and quieting your heart can help to ground. Also, connecting with others like yourselves, but probably not at the moment when all of you are stressed out and chaotic. Finding someone who is calm to talk with can help to ground and bring that down. And stress overall is a mindset that pushes up certain chemicals in your bodies, as this is the way that it is designed. The rise in chemicals to a certain degree is to keep you from short circuiting, so to speak. But when those chemicals get too high, it sort of has the same effect as not having them at all. So finding ways to calm your mind and your heart, and again, walking in nature, if possible, can help to do that.
Thank you. So this question, are there ways to hold communication with you and others other than channeling?
Yes, we can come through certain people sort of as a form of mediumship, where we can talk to certain people who can help spread our messages, but they are not surrendering their bodies to us. They are simply hearing us and then sharing the messages. So if you are able to do any type of communication, whether it is during meditation or writing, what is the word? Journaling. Sometimes you can ask for messages and just let us answer through what is written on your pages. Anytime that you can use your intuition, you can receive messages from us and others without having to surrender your physical forms.
Thank you. What is it? So this is from Tina, and she asks, what is it I need to know to advance my life for the better?
You need to know that you already have the answers. And we know that that sounds like a platitude, so we will expand a bit further on that. What you need to know to advance your life forward is to know that everything can change. And by that, we mean if you make a choice and you do not like the outcome of that choice, you can make another choice. You need to know that with it, because you have access to all of your own answers already, all that you need to do is to quiet yourself and listen to those answers and be true to what your heart is telling you and be true to what your intuition is telling you, and to not allow yourself to get sidetracked because someone else has a different opinion than you do. Simply allow yourself to be in who you are and understand that this temporary form that you have chosen, this body, this life that you have chosen in the here and now is temporary, and to give yourself permission to move beyond the status quo, if I'm saying that correctly. As I'm using someone else's vocabulary, this can be a little bit tricky. To advance your life forward, simply listen to the truth within yourself and follow it.
Thank you. How on track is humanity to reaching full disclosure and open contact?
There has been open contact for many, many years. Full disclosure has happened in the last year or so. We believe it's more than 20 governments have released official information about visitations from other planets. It's already here. So you are right on top of it if you look for the answers. Transparency is another issue, as there's not one government agency on your planet that is completely transparent. We suggest that you talk to each other and go from there. Everyone knows someone who's had some sort of experience with contact with extraterrestrials.
Thank you. From Keith, what is the most joy you've seen recently?
The most joy that we see is not from on your planet, but from off of your planet, from those who have left your planet and are rejoicing that when they get into pure energy form, which is also a temporary state between lifetimes in many different places, but from pure energy form, there is great joy when they can see from higher than their human perspectives all of the progress that is already being made, and also being able to see energy differently from their energetic perspective. That is the greatest joy that we have seen. The greatest joy that we have seen on planet Earth is that so many more people are embracing their own spiritual selves, their own spirits, and understanding that being a human is not as serious as many make it out to be. We don't know another way to say that, because we can see the temporary aspect of what it means to live a human life, or for that matter, a dog life or a hippopotamus life or what have you. Any type of physical form life is temporary because it's a temporary housing. And when people can realize that because it's a temporary housing and because everything is made of the same energy, that you can change the energy in your own life simply by choosing to do so and then following through. It's not just making a decision, it is following through on that decision, any decision to change your life one way or another. And all of it is based on what you have chosen to experience prior to coming into this particular body.
Thank you. We have about 5 minutes left. I have 2 questions, and one is, when us as humans are drawn to something, how should we react?
Go to it. Find out why you were drawn to it. You set this up for yourself, and you probably don't remember why. So go find out why you set this up for yourself. Why did you set up this drawing to a particular place, a particular other human, a particular experience? Go to it and find out why.
Thank you. So Courtney asks, are we in Atlantis?
No.
Yeah.
No. You are not in Atlantis. As far as Courtney personally goes, she is in the United States. But you are on planet Earth and not in Atlantis. Although that is a theory someone is throwing around. We understand that. But again, you all create your own realities. So perhaps the person who is throwing around that particular theory, for them, they are in Atlantis because that's what they are choosing to experience.
Thank you. So we have about 2 minutes left. Is there any words of wisdom, so to speak, for today?
We believe we have already shared that in the beginning, and that is just to understand that energy is flowing constantly. And when it's difficult, just let it flow through, let it flow past, let it just flow. And don't allow yourself to get caught up in it. Where people begin to experience misery is that they see or feel or hear or in some other way experience a difficulty and then decide to hold on to it, and not just decide, but follow through on holding on to it. And with following through on holding on to it, you are creating your own difficulties. Let it flow.
I apologize. There's one question that feels really strong I'd like to ask.
Yes.
What is your view on schizophrenia?
No one has ever asked us that question before. Give me a moment, please, to tune into that energy and discover what we might think about that. Okay. From what we can see, tuning into schizophrenia, these people are highly evolved, but they don't carry enough of their own spirit within them to be able to function properly in society. By societal rules is what we mean by properly. And they can see too much. They can see too many realities. They can experience too many realities all at one time. And the human brain is not designed to handle that level of information. They are seeing into too many different contradictory realities all at once. And it's too much for them to be able to process. That is the way that we are currently viewing schizophrenia.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
You are indeed welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
And when I'd love to carry this on at another time with you. So,
Yes.
And then we'll ask Christina to come back in.
Yes. One moment, please, as the transition can take a bit.
Sure.
Okay, so this is Christina. I'm back. And I know that when I open my eyes, there's going to be a very bright computer screen in front of me.
Take your time.
So Let me just, oh, wow, that was bright. Okay. I'm not going to try to put on the glasses over the headset, so you're just going to have to deal with me blind.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was quite amazing. And talking about schizophrenia and other things were something we were talking about with Dawn, and hearing, and if I'm going to pronounce this right, Urach, is that correct?
Urach.
Urach, okay.
Yeah.
And their view on that was beautiful. But yeah.
Can I just say, Urach and I are the same soul.
Okay.
So that is another life that I am living simultaneously to this one, but in Pleiades.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much for being that quick step in for us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. I'm always up for a challenge.
Yeah, and you did well.
Thanks.
And I think, and maybe sometime we revisit this channeling stuff again, and be more prepared, so to speak.
You mean more than 10 minutes notice?
More than 10 minutes notice, yes.
Sorry.
No, you have every right, yes.
I'm still rocking. Why am I still rocking?
And interestingly enough, Christina, so as I'm talking with Urach, and I'm rocking, and when he's talking about the rocking part of it, I'm like, well, why am I rocking? Because I'm not doing the channeling, so to speak. You are.
Because you're an empath.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I rocked the whole time, all the way through the whole half hour. So it was pretty cool. So
yeah. It's interesting stuff.
It's beautiful. It very much is.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Thank you, my dear. And guys, we're going to bring Patty and Danny back in while I step out and go do something for a half hour. So thanks again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So we're going to go to a short commercial break here. And then Danny's going to step in and be with Patty Q for the last half hour. So if I don't get back in, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Thank you.
The Body Code is a revolutionary method of energetic healing developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson, which allows us to quickly and easily identify specific imbalances that seem to underline chronic ill health, acute and chronic pain, and discomfort, dysfunction, and stress. Ellie energetically connects with the subconscious of the client. Psychic medium Ellie Weisensell is a medical intuitive and energy healer, and a certified body code practitioner. She identifies and clears energetic imbalances within the body and energy field. Contact Ellie at the website below, and Ellie can work remotely from a distance, by phone, online, video chat. There's no need to travel to an office. Remember, the Body Code is safe for humans and animals. Contact Ellie today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Soul and Synergy Radio here on WLTK-DB Talk Radio. And we have Patty Q in the house, so can we bring her out? Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you up there?
Oh, it's kind of a dreary day, but still really nice to be up here.
That is nice. It's kind of nice to go home every now and again.
Yeah. Come back to where I was hatched. That's kind of a nice thing to do.
Yep.
But just as always, just wondering from your spirit guides and the entities that you communicate with, what should we be looking for this coming week?
There was almost 2 words that came to me for today. I think the bigger one is vision. Vision is received by everyone. And if you look within yourself to allow vision to be exacting for you, that helps the cognitive support to allow for message. Now, when you say vision, is it like that 3D beautiful picture? Is it, what is that? So it's kind of like a journey when you start out on something and believing that it's one thing, you truly receive something totally different. And so all they want really is to acknowledge that every person alive and breathing should always reach out beyond themselves. And vision is the strongest, almost mental reach that you could possibly use in preparing yourself to receive message. Because we put a lot of blocks in our lives. We use bad experiences to drive our reality, and it pulls you away from who you are and who you should be and who you're on course to be. And I always find it really interesting when I do readings to cleanse people that vision is that one word that really sticks for me. And so say you're a teenager again, Danny, and adolescence is just going rampant. It's like you can't make sense out of anything really.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the scenes, vision is the one thing that's keeping you on track. So when I say it like that, it's like, I don't know if it gives you any answers. It just puts you in that path of realization for your own mental health. It kind of fits into the discussion that everybody was having earlier about the schizophrenic and the mental regions of our heads. And I really do believe that everybody who experiences a lot of extra senses are very capable of receiving more.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere along the line, things got crossed. So vision fits into this conversation because, as you know, Danny, you envision the members that consult with you. You see them for who they are. Vision is a thing that's pointing you in that direction.
Mm.
So if you had to say something to someone that was to include a description for them, how would you say it? Well, it's like a reading. You have to read how they connect to vision.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very real. And very, very hard to comprehend if you take it too literally.
Yeah, that's the problem, is taking
Mm-hmm.
things too literally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you hear something or whatnot, your mind immediately goes to someone critically evaluating you or
Right.
or being critical in some way, and then you take it literally as to what's
Mm-hmm.
being said. But
Mm-hmm.
spirit really kind of speaks in riddles at times.
And it does, because just there's never knowing everything. They intentionally push you in a different direction just when you think you're understanding one thing. And it's not to harm us in any way. So vision almost corrects things quicker than having to have a full-on, 2 months cleanse that you finally find the truth of who you are, or however. Then vision is part of that, the fluid method that I'm working with. And vision captures the entire message and just allows it. And it's so soothing. It's just so right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to tell someone that they needed or should listen better, would I just say them those words and then leave? No. It's kind of like you need to work within your readings and your consults to allow them to believe it. They have to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like that stick. Here we go again. Something else I have to try to figure out.
But I truly understand the water method that you're talking about. Just sitting here, 10 feet away from one of the most powerful lakes in the
Mhm.
world. And it's
Mhm.
just a very letting things flow is such an important thing.
It is.
And getting out of your own head, out of your own imagination about, catastrophizing everything and just
Mhm.
letting it flow.
Right. Because if you get too far ahead of it, they change it on you because they see your intent is not pure. So if you start thinking way too much and you have this like game in your head where you have to control that whole thing, well, by the time you even say that those words, they're gone, they're giving you something else. Because you have to quiet the mind.
Mhm.
You have to be fluid with who you are as a living human being. You have to like because nothing is like a construction site where you can't do this before you do this. Fluid method kind of gives those soft realizations and lets you breathe at the same time, and that is vision at the highest with all the things coming at people now. I mean, I sit with the purity of the message, the easiest pure soulful attachment, and that helps. It heals. It allows people to be in their headspace without thinking they're crazy. So
Mhm.
all of these things that you guys were talking about fits purely within a vision access to the universe.
Right.
I mean, message doesn't always have to come with a soulful being sitting next to you.
No.
Message is received in every breath we take, in every move, every act. And if we open ourselves up, that heals us. That heals.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Hmm.
And I know that it's hard for me sometimes not to kind of go down the negative track with messages and whatnot that we get. And I know people that I've read for are kind of the same way, where they're feeling picked on or whatever by the things that they're getting. And I just tell them, it's you got to not take it so personally.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think
Yep.
that's kind of the message as well.
And the an interesting caveat to all this is that I've been helping young people like teenage, whatever, and they're very still adapt to being open psychically, and they've never really realized it. So it's brought almost ill feelings. It doesn't attach to them naturally. So that kind of reading is the same kind of thing that an adult of any age would receive the same structure, the same message within fluidity, because you don't want people to spend too much time in one spot. You have to allow them to experience as you move through. Because if, and I know I said this to you, Danny, before, if all you wanted to do was listen and be a part of conversations, you would never leave your house.
Right. Right.
You would never want to, because you think that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing to match that information. Oh, I can't leave the house. I can't do this and this because I have work to do.
Hmm. Right.
Doesn't exactly happen that way. Well, it should never happen that way.
Right. And we're meant to have humanly experiences and do fun
Mm-hmm.
things, and
Mm-hmm.
people can get so engrossed in having to be in that other, let's call it that other dimension, and not
Mm-hmm.
have a human experience. I mean, it's good
Right.
to live in both worlds.
It is, and it is a parallel existence, and but yet it's not a race. Even I think someone posted that recently, where when you live in life, it's not meant to be a race in any kind of way. In fact, you have to slow down and shape yourselves with happiness, and guidance will always be there for you. And I think the coolest thing about that is that you may never realize how many beings are sitting with you to help you come to that realization,
Hmm.
because it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. You have to have mental body health. You have to have a spiritual connection to continue growth. But if that's all you did, you're golden.
Hmm.
You live well. So I don't always like to put a title on things either. If you think you have to go through many levels to get this title, well, okay. But you could do it in an easier, fluid way that doesn't waste so much time.
Right. And we have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
From Tina Leach. She's saying, "Are my spirit guides able to communicate through you?" But I think that's kind of what's going to happen. What am I not hearing from them? How do I hear them? What is it they need to know or do to keep me moving forward? So how does she stay that connected?
Tina, it's really interesting that your question comes in that fashion, because the reality of you and your space is that they're pushing you harder now. So they're pushing you in a way that makes you feel more uncomfortable, or making you feel that they're not there. Everything they do for you is meant for your experience to view life better. So if they come with message for you, in fact, they're trying to impress upon you through your own soul what it feels like to receive a message. So it's not necessarily in your ear anymore. It's like they want to use the natural gift of soulful read. And when you sit with their message, you just feel really good about it. You feel like you want to have a bigger explanation of it. It's an easier, more fluid way to communicate. So you're not using your head game anymore to think that you have the answer. You're very good at receiving information, by the way. And so this timing for you today to ask that question is perfect. They allow for this conversation to expand that feeling more and more. They love how you energize around the thoughtful capacity of wanting more. So you've already earned their appreciation by being you through the whole thing. And it's important not to think outside of yourself when this experience happens, because all that matters is you. All that matters is your ability to reach through spirit a bigger kind of information. And that's exactly what they're doing. So good for you. I love that place that you're in. And you should too. You should be very happy about it. It never stops. It's always going to reach you. And you need to enjoy like 80% of it. While sometimes it feels heavy, you should know that there is a message in there for you. So they're building your structure. They're propelling you forward. And they love it. They absolutely love it. I hope I answered that well.
Great. And then Keith is asking, how many guides does Patty have now? And what the heck does the Q stand for?
Well, okay, the Q is for my maiden name, Quali. So now I'm Patty Q. And like Danny said, I have armies, but really, I call in armies for readings for a certain person. And a lot of it is that my ability to share my army with everyone and anyone is exactly how your spirit world adapts to communicating well. So it's like I share it with whoever wants it, and that smooths out the balance and doesn't cause frustrations. It's very beautiful and fluid, of course, but I always walk with about 8 or 9 beings that really don't pay attention to me anymore, but they just are attached to that reason. So they never hit me in the head anymore, because I've gone past those stages, and it's just fluid. I have about 8 or 9. They're very huge. They're very tall, and they don't stop. So the purpose is to keep me moving in a higher capacity to help other people have their own army.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you've shared some of your wonderful people with Terry and I, so definitely. And I have been getting people for readings that needed their help.
Exactly.
So it's kind of interesting, and he's had healings where having those 5 there has probably been where they needed to be.
Right.
So it's an interesting kind of new path to be on.
It is. It is. And the other word that I had that I wanted to talk about was challenge. You're not put in a position to receive message easily. So every place you go and move through has to be a challenge. Otherwise, we literally would be a couch potato. So you have to experience their message by living. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a challenge. If you want to hear more, if you want to be a part of a bigger message purposely, because you can, they exact to that message and they empower you. Like, this is my empowerment symbol. And they push you through even bigger and longer challenges.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you grow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the questions I have, because we kind of work with symbols and all that. I mean, we just worked on a couple for you.
Yeah.
Is it important for everybody to kind of have a symbol that represents them as a person?
Yes and no, because if you live this life with the capacity to just love and be well, and you know you're a good person, you know that life is giving you what you want, and that the breath you take every day is purposeful and meaningful, you are reading to your symbols. You read to the things that are downloaded every millisecond of every day, and those are the things that you live with. You live alongside, you drink it, you eat it, you play with it. But so let's go to the person that realizes those symbols. The symbolic meaning for symbols is strength. Your capacity to see what your symbol is all on strength. So you have to earn the time frame in which you are with message to say, I really want to know who I am, but in a bigger way. Part of that message is done through symbols and signs, the ease of daytime, nighttime, the ease of harsh, of beyond, and knowing you're going to be okay is all done through symbolic reach. And when I say reach, it's that place that we intuitively use to gain our health, our well-being. And symbols and signs do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's important to, if you go further with psychic, yeah, you're going to see your signs. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tina asked a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know one of my spirit guides' name that I should call to?
Yes, but so these things are curious because it's really not a name. Like when you say Danny or Patty Q, it's letters. They usually come in 3 letters. Like for Tina, it's the strongest one with you is Y, N as in Nancy, Y, N, I. So Y as in you, N as in Nancy, and I as invincible. So you really can't pronounce that as a name. And that's proper. It's done through angelic means so that it doesn't clog up the airwaves. Because if you say 1 minute that you want to call to that one, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of need to do that. So selfishly, you want to just include however many you need. And if you never know those 3 letters, you're still okay. So you have to almost let loose of what society tells you to do about having a name to things, and let it flow. Now, I was writing some down for Danny and Terry the other day, and those are a part of like 5 to 10 strong spirit guides who are with the 2 of them. And now for Tina, the letters that I gave you are part of your 3 to 4 that are always with you. So, and they all have their own thing. They all do the one thing that you need, and they try to combine themselves together so that it's one union of message. And to put a name to that, it's really not necessary. So, and I think I let Tina know some more information about that too. So they always say that when she was a little girl and there was like something shiny and new, she was the first one that wanted to know what it was all about. and that's very good for you, because that's who you are, and you still are that way, which is why you ask for more. You're intuitively always asking for more. And that's very proper. That's very proper. I always listen to what's right, but yet I always listen to what's wrong about things, and you learn a lot. Tina, you're going to learn a lot about the outer conversations that are not for you. And that's how you grow, right, Danny? You listen to those conversations, and they're not yours.
Right. And it's knowing that what they're saying is not yours.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
Because the first thing that you do, that your mind does, your mind is like a database. So when it receives information, it combs through all the data to see, does this apply to me? Or is there an experience I had that these words bring up in my memory?
Exactly.
And when you're the channel or the messenger, you got to train your brain not to ask itself, did this happen to me, or am I that kind of a person that's telling me this?
Right.
You know, and it's difficult because
it is.
It's
one of the hardest things you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It really is hard.
Because it's hard not to, you know, like when you have thoughts in your head about evaluating this, that, or the other, and a weird thought comes through of something that you've never done. You know, so why would I even be thinking about it? Well, it's not for me to internalize. It was for someone else.
Right. But there's message in that too. Never forget that. Why am I with this? It's a way for your psyche to be broader, to be larger. So it's almost like you feel your mind's eye just growing and growing. And it may take a while. You might get really mad about it, but it's a beautiful song. It really is. When everything hits the way it fluidly needs to, it is a beautiful song.
Yes. And then there's nothing better than like for me, you know, I'm doing a reading or something, and as I'm doing the reading, my ego has built this scenario about all these things happening to this person as I'm giving the reading. Right. And the reading means so much to them, but then they tell me the story that actually is happening. And it's like, wow, my ego did not match this story that this reading was all about. And that just tells me that the things that I'm saying and all of that is message for those people. Yeah. It's just my mind trying to create a story to better understand it, where that's not the actual story. It's just something to glue together.
And I have to say this really quickly, but Tina, this is kind of where those symbols and signs come to play, is that the more you're calm about the information you receive, the higher and bigger and the better it is, without much effort on your part. So always believe that they have your back, because they know what's good for us, and you're with the right team. You're with your team.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Patty, for joining the show for your Patty Q Corner. I can't wait to get Patty Q hugs here in the future.
Yay!
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been a really wonderful show, and look for us next week. But until then, talk to you all later.
Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.
you.